Good evening, everyone. Here goes. I'm free as the breeze. I shine like the stars in the sky. I fly like the bird. I, I fly like the birds in the sky. And I glow like the salt in the sea. Can you feel me? When I was younger, I have a lot of stories to tell. I don't know what has come over me, but I feel like I have so much stories to tell, and there's a lot to tell, and in all the little time. But here goes what I have to say. May blow your mind. When I was younger, I remember a lot of times I used to play Tony Hawk. About 7 years old, me and my cousin, we were close. His name was Keith Scarlett, and I miss the days when we used to be close. And sometimes as you get older in family, you break apart, you have differences. But I remember the time when me and you used to be close. I remember the time we used to play video games all the time. I remember the time me and you, we were close like glue. And I miss those days, but we grew apart, and that's life. Running back to memory lane, I remember when I was in Grandview. It was a girl named Francesca. She was one of my biggest crush, maybe my first crush, and I fell in love with her. And I always try to talk to her, but she never really paid me no mind. She was always into the bad boys. Even in high school, in middle school and high school, she never really recognized me. What a tragedy. I wish she would have saw what I saw what I see, but she didn't. And a couple of years later, I saw her at the park in Nyack, and yet she still didn't see anything. She was stuck, but that's her loss. I remember when I was younger, and Keith, we went to cherry picking, and Keith and his father and Rihanna, they would always go to different trips. They would always go to different places, and sometimes I would get jealous because I wanted to go to different places. I wanted to go do different things when I was younger, but I never had that opportunity. I never had that chance as a kid, because Rihanna and Keith and Pete, they would always go to places. They would always go to fun places, the city. They will always be traveling. Every weekend, Big Keith would take out the Rihanna, Keith, and sometimes Pete, or they would just go to different places. And this time I went, and we were doing cherry picking. And this time I picked out a cherry, and I swallowed the cherry. And Keith was like telling me, I swallowed the cherry. And he's like, and he kind of teased me. He said, the cherry's gonna grow in your stomach, and you're gonna become a tree. And I started crying. And I went to my stepmother, and I told my stepmother. Keith said that I was gonna turn into a tree. And Rita was like, why are you telling him that, boy? And Keith started laughing. I remember that. There was moments as I'm walking down, enjoying the weather. It's November. What a beautiful time. What a beautiful moment. The sky is blue. It's the weather is ripe. It's just, everything is superb. Everything is just right. And I remember I'm walking down my job, and I'm walking down the hill by the train tracks, by toyways, by the grass, by the leaves. And I'm remembering coming from school, middle school, Pomona Middle School, running home from school Friday night, getting ready to watch Goosebumps. I would get my popcorn, Jack popcorn, and I would run. I watch Bill and Mandy, Ed and Eddie, the Goosebumps. You name, but I love the Goosebumps. And I'll sit down Friday nights, and I'll get kind of creepy, but I love the Goosebumps, and I'll sit down and watch the TV show. There were moments that were precious. There were moments that were good moments that I cherished. I remember and just sitting down and just watching Kids Next Door, Cody, Zack and Cody, Courage the Cowardly Dog. I remember watching those shows. Those are the times. Those are the a lot of the shows that I watch a lot of anime shows, and that got me through the pain, that got me through the struggles as a young kid, growing up in the situation, growing up in the environment that I was in. I remember as the nights, as the wind blow in my face and the air feels great, and I'm remembering the touch of the sky, the touch of the air, and everything is just reminiscing, and the spells that's being cast, I'm remembering things, all forms of healing. I remember there were nights where I was laying in the grass and I was with my siblings and my brothers and siblings, and we would look at the sky at night, and we were young. This is early 2000s, where people used to ride their bikes at middle of the night, when people used to come out of their house and spend most of the time 2-3 o'clock in the morning. There were the times when people used to ride their bikes, where people used to steal and your neighbor would let you know. There was a time when people cared about each other. There was a time where people showed love. There was a time when they had square box TVs, cassettes, records, blues, when back in the day the Cadillac was a thing, and people had values, morals, and character. People stand up for each other. People love one another. If they saw you walking in the street, they would take you to school. They would say, come in the car, I'll take you to school. Everyone knew everyone, and everyone stood up for everyone, and everyone had each other back. I remember those days like it was just yesterday. And as I sit in the grass, and we will wish to the stars who we were going to be and what we wanted to be when we grow up. I remember those days like it was just yesterday. I remember, what a time. Those were the times to be alive, because out of all the pain, all of the darkness, there were beautiful moments that were precious. I also remember that a couple months ago, I was talking to Martha, and I know you don't want to take responsibility for the actions that you caused, and I know you think that I don't love you, and that's not true. I do. I just love you in a different way. I hope one day you can understand that I had to leave you behind because you wouldn't change, and love is not weak, and sometimes you have to lead from example. And I know you're in a lot of pain. I know you take pills because you're depressed because of the family broke up and you've lost your mind. But I'm here to let you know that Rita fucked us up. She screwed us up. As a stepmother, she failed us. And by these recordings, maybe one day it will help you heal. Maybe one day you may find your way. Angeline, I know you were molested when you was a child. And Angeline, I know you were molested as a child too. Rita failed me, you, Angeline, she failed all of us. She wasn't fit to have any children. And now I'm doing something about it. I'm speaking about it. I'm taking a stand, and I'm doing what's right. And I just want you to know, even though I don't talk to any one of you guys, even though we are taking our different paths, I still love you all. Andy, I know that you drink to wash away the pain, but when you drink, you become a different animal. And you're better when you don't drink. I wish and I hope one day you find the chance to heal and love yourself. When I was younger, I used to watch anime because it got me through the pain. Superman, Smallville, Somebody Save Me, Inuyasha, Bleach, all these animation shows helped me got through the tough times, helped me tap into my superpower, helped me be my best version of myself even when it's hard, because I needed a hero. I needed someone to look up to, and these were the best way I